Hello, today we are going to discuss about how do we motivate our children to do things that are good for them without us nagging at them on what to do. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. So I was really interested in what makes humans do things out of their own accord without people telling them what to do. So I went to research on it and I found upon this theory called self-determination theory. So what is self-determination theory? It is well researched by two clinical psychologists. They are namely Deci and Richard Ryan. This theory suggests that we humans are more motivated to learn and grow when three universal psychological needs are met. So what are these three needs? They are number one, relatedness, or I call it connection. Number two, autonomy, and the third one is competence. So let's talk about the first psychological needs on relatedness or connections. We feel connected to others when we are being cared for or when our feeling matter to others, when we have a sense of belonging. So this is very similar to attachment parenting philosophy, where children who are raised in an emotionally and physically safe environment, they are more likely to have the space and the availability for curiosity, for explorations, with the parents as the anchor. And they are more likely not to be worried about danger or fear of rejections, and they will be more focused and more interested and engaged in the activities that they are doing. So now let's talk about the second psychological need, which is on autonomy. So what is autonomy? Autonomy means that we feel like we have a choice. We're doing it out of our pure willingness. No one forced us to do it. No one pressured us to do it. It's purely self-endorsed. We did it out of enjoyment or because we believe in the value of what we are doing. So it's more driven by the intrinsic motivation rather than the extrinsic motivations. So autonomy is very different from independence, where independence means you are free to do whatever you want to do without guidance and support, and that's not very healthy because adolescents, especially when they are free to do whatever they want without guidance, they are very much susceptible to conformity by their peers. You can't be autonomously interdependent where you have a choice to do whatever you want. However, you can still come back and turn around and ask for help and guidance if you need to. The third psychological need that we're going to discuss now is on competence. I believe most of us want to become good at what we are doing and develop mastery over the tasks that are important to us so that we will have skills that we need for success. And this in turn eventually will make us feel more confident to undertake actions that will enable us to achieve our goals. So now that we have learned about these three psychological needs that are needed for us to grow and to learn, now we get back to the questions of how do we motivate our children to study? I was taken aback by Deci and Richard Ryan's answer to this question. They say that the question we should be asking ourselves instead is, how do we create a condition, an environment in which our children can motivate themselves to do activities that are beneficial for them? I was pretty impressed by that answer, and it reminded me of this planting concept which I discussed about in my previous video, which if you're interested you can check it out. So in the next segment of the videos, I will be sharing with you on how we can create and facilitate an environment where our children are able to meet these three psychological needs. So now let's talk about how do we create and facilitate an environment where you have relatedness and connection. Number one, allow your child to express their opinions and perspective. This allows us as parents to see how our children see the situation and also to see their internal frame of reference. So number two is to allow us to empathize and acknowledge their emotions and provide them this safe space for them to go and explore, experiment, fail and try again, and create an environment where it's free from shame and sarcasm. By doing all this, not only parents understand their children, but their children also better understand themselves. Once awareness of the child and the situation is built, they then have a better direction on how do we move forward. So now let's discuss about how do we create an environment where we can promote autonomy for our children. So we were talking about connection previously. So once you have built that connection and you better understand where your child is coming from, the situation they are in, and what their needs are, you provide them with choices. So with these choices, it allows the child to be engaged in the decision-making process, which allows them to be more self-empowered and take ownership of their activity. Normally, children will tend to choose one that they are interested in. This allows them to be better engaged in the activity that they are doing, which then promotes the likelihood of better performance and also promote positive emotions associated with the activity. Over time, the parents can then allow the child to see the relevance of their activity with their lives, so that children can then internalize and identify the value of this activity. So for example, you can tell the children that reading is important because it promotes you to enjoy more books, enjoy the stories, but at the same time it's important because it allows us to read important messages such as signboards and instructions, or even reading the menu so that they can order food. So the last segment of this video is to create an environment where we can meet the psychological need for competence. So we as a parents, we can break the learning activity into bite-sized chunks so that our children will find it more manageable and enjoyable. They can also see the progress as they move on from one milestone to the other. Then they will also have a sense of pride every time they complete the task successfully. Positive feedback will also boost their morale and hopefully will drive them to do better next time. So the question is, how do we provide this positive feedback? Do we praise them? Do we provide them with external rewards? What are the consequences with these? So if you're interested in this topic, please check out my next video on intrinsic motivation. Now let's wrap up this whole video. So today we talk about 3 psychological needs that allow us to flourish our intrinsic motivations. They are number 1, relatedness or connection. Number 2 is on autonomy. The third one is on competence. So hopefully if we are able to meet all these 3 psychological needs, we will then become more motivated, we will become self-starter or initiator to do things that we are interested in, that we enjoy, and hopefully in long term that will promote better performance, better engagement, better mental health, and so on and so forth. As always, thank you for your time and for watching this video. I will see you in the next video.